Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our participants on our 7th annual Egypt Energy Spotlight, brought to you by the bilateral U.S.-Arab Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all for participating from wherever you may be. There are so many countries and so many time zones represented here today. And we thank you very much for joining what has been a very important tradition of the bilateral chamber and highlighting the strategic energy relationship between the US and Egypt, and also the important relationship of ours with the Petroleum show, Egypt's, which has become one of the most important meeting points, not only on opportunities in Egypt's petroleum sector, but the Eastern Mediterranean and Africa. So I thank you all for joining us today. My name is ADIPEC, and I am the CEO of the Bilateral Chamber, and it is indeed a pleasure for me. It's something that I look forward to every year, to bring together the amazing speakers that we do. And today, of course, His Excellency Engineer Tarek Molla, Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources for the Arab Republic of Egypt. Before we get to His Excellency the Minister, I would very much like to introduce the Ambassador of Egypt to the United States, Mr. Motaz Zahran, who has been at the post for exactly a year or so, and is looking forward to outreach and meeting everybody in person. But we wanted to give him an opportunity to introduce himself a little bit to you. Prior to this assignment, he was the Assistant Foreign Minister and Chief of Cabinet at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and he was the Ambassador of Egypt to Canada as well prior to that. A very illustrious and incredible career. And so Egypt's very lucky to have him, and we're very lucky to have him in Washington, D.C. Your Excellency, Ambassador, I'd like to give the floor to you.
Thank you, Ida, for your kind introduction. And let me just start by extending appreciation to the Bilateral Chamber of Commerce for everything it does, and special thanks to you, of course, as a CEO, and Mr. Maurice, our distinguished moderator, who will take us through our event today. And of course, His Excellency Minister Tarek Molla, whom we're all proud of. Now, allow me to kick off with a few remarks pertinent to our topic today. And maybe for the last decade or so, the oil and gas industry has endeavored to stay competitive and maximize production efficiency and capture investors' interests and optimize the performance of its industrial base. And these have been challenges, of course, that have been directly affected by COVID-19 and the high volatility of prices and the growing decarbonization momentum and the structural shifts in consumer behaviors. Now, all this has come at a time when energy is in transition to renewables, of course, and continues to accelerate, benefiting from the aspiration to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. And huge investments are directed at a new generation of electric vehicles, nuclear reactors, and other alternatives to burning fossil fuels. So it's not hard to see that the renewables will increase over time, and that fossil energies will probably decrease in order to reduce greenhouse gases. The main challenge for the fossil fuel industry is how new projects and new exploration can come into the supply line if the new resources have lower cost and lower carbon intensity. Now, despite these challenges, the oil and gas industry still has a fundamental role in the energy future, due to the growth of world population and the growing need and demand for energy, particularly when it comes to enabling people to access secure and affordable resources for energy. Now, the recent hike in oil and gas prices is a clear indication that the demise of the fossil fuel energy is not anytime soon. It will continue to be with us. So at this point, allow me to shift to our national level in Egypt, and of course, His Excellency Minister Tarek al-Molla, we in Arabic we say لا يفتى ومالك في المدينة وإن حضر الماء بطل التيمم. But allow me to say a few points, if I may, Your Excellency. So, you know, our national level has been very much engaged in, also in the regional context, and it has been a hybrid of attention both nationally and regionally. So to ensure a sustainability of energy supply, Egypt has launched an ambitious energy diversification strategy. And I've been on a panel just a few days ago with the UK ambassador talking about the new COVID environment and how it impacts our trajectory towards COP26 currently preparing for, and COP27 in Egypt. And part of my contribution is specifically on Egypt's integrated strategy for the energy mix that we envisage by the year 2035. Now, this aims to step up the development of renewables, of course, and also energy efficiency, and targets in 15 years less than 50-50 energy mix, 42, if I'm not mistaken, percent of renewables and conventional in our energy production and consumption. The oil and gas industry is one of the most dynamic economic sectors in Egypt. Hydrocarbon production is the largest single industrial activity in the economy. Egypt achieved mutual natural gas self-sufficiency and became a net energy exporter, thanks to its huge offshore natural gas deposits and discoveries in the Eastern Mediterranean. The establishment of the EMGF is a clear reflection of Egypt's central role in organizing the regional export of Eastern Mediterranean gas, as Cyprus and Israel signed supply contracts to use Egypt's liquefaction plants to cost-effectively market the region's gas to Europe as liquefied natural gas, the LNG. In other words, reliable sources of energy to Europe. And I think we need to highlight this and keep it in perspective when we talk about how Egypt and the region is evolving. Egypt is also becoming both a regional export hub for natural gas and electricity, not only for its geography, but as a result of the convergence of four main factors: offshore natural gas discoveries, as I mentioned, fiscal reform in Egypt that has been very successful, renewable energy resources development, and the construction of gas pipelines and electricity interconnections throughout the region. Egypt has a network of gas pipelines extending to Israel, Jordan, and Cyprus. We explored the possibility of extending another pipeline from Egypt to Greece. Egypt's advances in developing renewable energy resources, solar and wind, have already created a marketable energy surplus that is set to grow significantly in the near future as Egypt's new renewable and nuclear power projects come online. By 2035, Egypt's surplus capacity could reach as high as an estimated of 74.4 gigawatts. Egypt plays a vital role in international energy markets through operations of the two Suez Canal transit points and the Suez Mediterranean SUMED pipeline. The Suez Canal is an important transit route for oil and liquefied natural gas shipments. Egypt is investing heavily in developing its petrochemical sector and increasing its refinery capacities. Developing electricity interconnections to Europe, Middle East, and Sub-Saharan Africa is a priority to Egypt, with Cyprus, Greece, Saudi Arabia, Libya, Jordan, and Sudan. Since 2019, Egypt has a strategic energy dialogue with the US, of course, to further promote cooperation on all energy aspects and encourage more US companies to invest in the Egyptian energy sector, one of the most prominent and progressing quickly and fast in the fields of renewables, petrochemicals, and oil refineries. Now, no one best can navigate us through Egypt's tremendous efforts to modernize and upgrade its oil and gas sector, but His Excellency Minister Tarek Molla, Egypt's most competent and dynamic minister of petroleum and mineral resources. I've had the honor in the past when I was in Canada, as His Excellency Minister has said before, to get acquainted with His Excellency, his expertise, his wide knowledge and depth of intellect. So we'll be looking forward to an exciting discussion. Thank you, Ait.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that great overview. We appreciate that. I think I'd like to go ahead and segue this before I run that video I promised to run to Mr. Landon Derentz. I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly, so please correct me. Mr. Landon is the Director of the Middle Eastern and African Affairs Office of International Affairs for the Department of Energy. He also serves as the US representative and Vice Chairman of the International Energy Agency Standing Groups on the oil markets and emergency questions. He was the acting Deputy Assistant Secretary for Africa, Middle East, Europe, and Eurasian Affairs at the office. And that his office is responsible for managing the department's bilateral and regional engagement with international partners. So we really thank you for taking the time to join us and give us your vantage point of, again, what we all are here for.
Ida, it's wonderful to be here, and thank you for that introduction. Let me first thank you and the U.S. Egypt Bilateral Chamber for organizing this 7th annual Egypt Energy Spotlight, which is obviously a very important forum for us, but with the attendance that we're seeing today, obviously for many others as well. And thank you for His Excellency Ambassador Zahran for always striving collaboratively with us to further strengthen our bilateral relationship. But most importantly, let me thank His Excellency Minister Molla for his continued high-level commitment to U.S.-Egypt bilateral energy cooperation, and frankly, for a brilliant vision in the wider region. As this community likely knows, the Biden administration is committed to ensuring that a zero-emissions future offers huge opportunity for business, for clean energy jobs, and for economic growth to build back better from the global economic crisis. Business associations, businesses on this forum today, and our partners in Egypt are indispensable to those efforts. However, at a time when the world, in particular Europe and East Asia, are grappling with considerations associated with a tight natural gas market, I think it's also important to highlight leadership like that shown by His Excellency Minister Molla and ensuring reliable and affordable supply today, as we collectively strive to achieve that net zero future, including through the decarbonization workstream in the East Med Gas Forum. So the United States and Egypt have shared priorities in the energy sector and robust ongoing cooperation, including under the U.S.-Egypt Strategic Energy Dialogue, which we are heartened to reinforce in this forum that's going to be a priority for us in the coming year and continued priority for the future. And I think that you see that manifesting. For example, we had a recent EMGF webinar with the U.S. Geological Survey detailing its revised assessment that shows significant energy reserves in the Eastern Mediterranean. And I encourage everyone to review that assessment. These are the fruits of that type of relationship. Complementing these efforts, DOE is developing a technical study on regional energy interconnection and integration in the Middle East. We're working with regional stakeholders, including Egypt, including both the public and private sectors, to explore opportunities for regional energy systems through new interconnections, which of course is a space that Egypt is a leader in, both in terms of natural gas and the power sector. We look forward to pending technical engagement on carbon capture, utilization, and storage. At the end of this month, we'll be engaging in some technical webinars and bilaterally, and other. I think that there's other engagements in the future that we're also going to be building out as we feed into an ambitious agenda, as I mentioned, for 2022, and maintain our high-level engagement in the strategic energy dialogue. I thank the Bilateral Chamber for hosting us again. Thank you again for the invitation to participate. And we look forward to the message His Excellency has to share with us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And as I mentioned in the earlier meeting, one of the things that we are most proud of at the organization, as we've been bringing this series to you over the last 7 years, is that we were the organization that partnered with DMG to inaugurate Egypt's in Houston and bring it to the attention of the US energy sector. And we want to thank DMG Egypt for their stewardship and membership over the years. It's become really a state-of-the-art, incredible convening place. And we look forward to coming in 2022 once again. I also want to thank, of course, Chevron, Apache, and IPR Energy for the sponsorship of the webinar today and their continued support, and Halliburton and ExxonMobil as well for supporting our series. For those of you, I don't think there are many of you that are on here that have not attended Egypt's for the conference, Egypt's. But for those of you that haven't, I'd just like to give you a little bit of a snapshot of what you've missed and what you will experience. So if you may indulge me for a minute to have a shared experience for attending Egypt's.
Egypt, an oil and gas energy hub. With a strategic geographical location and close proximity to Asia, Africa, and Europe, Egypt has always been at the forefront of global trade. Its oil and gas reserves have made Egypt pivotal to the development of the Mediterranean energy market and resulted in the establishment of the East Mediterranean Gas Forum. As one of the prime economic sectors responsible for foreign direct investments, the Egyptian petroleum industry has become crucial to the country's future development plans. In line with the Vision 2030 program, Egypt has embarked on a modernization strategy to boost oil and gas investments and transform itself into an energy trading hub while strengthening employment opportunities for its citizens. Held under the patronage of His Excellency Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, the annual Egypt Petroleum Show is the region's premier energy platform. The show enables Egypt to influence, shape, and strategize future regional priorities to navigate the evolving energy landscape, in addition to addressing the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for the North African and Mediterranean oil and gas industry. Egypt's connects government officials, global business leaders, policymakers, and innovators for these strategic dialogues that debate the transformation of the global energy industry. Join us at the Egypt Petroleum Show and be part of the country's future. Find out more at egypts.com.
Absolutely incredible event. I congratulate DMG, and of course, they couldn't have done it without His Excellency the Minister's full support. It truly is something not to be missed. So without any more delay, I would like to introduce our board member and our moderator for today, Mr. Maurice Nessim. He is the chairman and president of the Society of Exploration Geophysicists, SEG, the world's most respected geoscience professional organization. Many of you may have known him in his previous role as the president of Western GECO for Schlumberger, and his incredible career with Schlumberger spans many, many years, many incredible roles, dozens of professional published papers, and incredible initiatives. I have been very privileged to know him over the years and to count him as one of our esteemed board members. And of course, he is of Egyptian origin and has a particular passion for the opportunities and a vision for what has been going on in Egypt. And so he, for me, is the perfect moderator for today's subject. Mr. Maurice Nessim, I welcome you.
Thank you very much, Aida, and welcome everybody. I would like, I'm honored today to introduce His Excellency Engineer Tarek Molla. And on a personal, from a personal perspective, you know, I personally witnessed your great foresight in putting a clear modernization program for the sector, focusing on several pillars which are delivering tangible value, such as the investment attraction, digital transformation, focus on technology and human capital. The launch of the Egypt Upstream Gateway is a clear example with all these elements, showcasing clear vision, positioning Egypt as a leader worldwide. Excellency, Engineer Tarek Molla has played a pivotal role in the creation of the East Mediterranean Gas Forum, like everybody has mentioned, and we're going to be talking about this more later, bringing together regional collaborators for the sector, fostering a positive regional environment for attracting investments in the oil and gas sector in the region. There are many major achievements that one could talk about, but for sake of time, I will focus on the, you know, highlighting the transformation that you have led the landscape of investors in Egypt oil and gas, with attraction of all the major players to Egypt during the last 2 years, with agreements signed already and lots of others coming also, and expanding the investment landscape across Mediterranean, Western Desert, Gulf of Suez, and also opening up the Red Sea, which has lots of potential, as we all know. I feel, as an Egyptian and as a person that have been working in the oil sector for a long time, extremely proud of the great achievements of Your Excellency and positioning Egypt as a key regional energy hub. So I would like to introduce His Excellency Engineer Tarek Molla. He received his BSc in mechanical engineering from Cairo University in 1986, joined Chevron in 1987, worked in different fields and held various positions in engineering, operations, planning, sales, and marketing. In 1989, he became sales manager, a member of the board of directors of Chevron Egypt. And during the period from 2002 to 2008, has got several Chevron assignments and managed projects in Dubai, Kenya, and Singapore. In 2008, he became managing director, marketing for Chevron Egypt. From 2008 until end of 2010, he moved to Chevron South Africa, held the position of regional manager in charge of South and Central Africa's commercial and industrial business. In January 2011, he joined EGPC as Deputy CEO for Foreign Trade. During this period of time, 2011 to 2013, he was also assigned the Deputy CEO for both internal trade and operations. He was appointed as EGPC CEO in August 2013, and on September 19, 2015, he was appointed as Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources. On May 2017, the French president awarded him the Ordre National de Légion, the honor as the rank of knight, one of the oldest French accolades in recognition of his efforts in developing the Egyptian-French relationships in oil and gas industry. On June 14, 2018, Engineer Tarek Molla was sworn in as a Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources in the new government of the Prime Minister, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, and also in December 22nd, 2019, was sworn in as Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources in the new government of the Prime Minister of Dr. Mustafa Madbouli. Your Excellency, we are looking forward to your keynote speech. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Maurice. So let me start by greeting all my dear friends, excellencies, distinguished guests, dear friends and partners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and good afternoon, and perhaps good evening. So please allow me to thank the Bilateral Chamber for hosting the 7th annual Egypt Energy Spotlight, this very special event that truly asserts the strong political and economic relationship that the US and Egypt have enjoyed for more than 40 years now. And special thanks to Mrs. Aida Araisi, founding CEO of the Bilateral Chamber, for her kind invitation and warm welcome today. I would also like to extend my appreciation to His Excellency, Ambassador Motaz Zahran, Ambassador of the Arab Republic of Egypt to the United States, Mr. Landon, Derentz, the Director, Middle Eastern and African Affairs, US Department of Energy, and Mr. Maurice Nessim, the Chair and President of the Society of Exploration Geophysicists. It is really a pleasure being here today among such distinguished group of speakers and guests. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, Egypt has experienced unusual circumstances throughout the past decade that made it necessary for the government to embrace Egypt's 2030 vision, a vision that represents a comprehensive development path aiming to maximize the benefit from its resources and competitive advantage. From this perspective, the Egyptian government implemented an economic reform program to stabilize the economy and address macroeconomic imbalances. And in line with these reforms, we as well, the Egyptian oil and gas sector, developed our strategy through a comprehensive modernization program to leverage the sector's full potential with the objective to ensure energy security, achieve financial sustainability, and improve the sector's governance. A cornerstone in our strategy is to create an attractive investment climate that helps us retain our foreign investments and attract new investors as well. Throughout the past years, we have been able to reduce our investors' arrears by 87%, from $6.3 billion in 2011 to less than $850 million in 2021. We have also managed to sign and ratify by the Parliament 99 agreements for oil and gas exploration projects with international companies from 9 bid rounds, with minimum expenditure commitment of around $17 billion US. Moreover, we have recently attracted major IOCs to work within the Egyptian upstream domain for the first time, such as ExxonMobil and Chevron. In 2018, Egypt was able to achieve its self-sufficiency of gas and resume exports through several gas development projects, and this achievement has enabled us to transform Egypt to be one of the important gas producers in the region. The conversion of growth rate in the gas sector has massively changed in the past few years, from negative 11% to positive 25%. Subsequently, in 2019, Egypt was ranked second in Africa and 13 globally in natural gas production. The versatile properties, the abundant reserves, as well as the economic and environmental benefit of natural gas, it became the fuel of choice in Egypt. I have to say that with the governmental direction towards energy transition and encouraging the diversification of the national energy mix in the past decade, natural gas has become the dominant fuel consumed by a wide array of industries and sectors. Furthermore, in our framework of achieving the national strategic goal to preserve the environment and drive economic growth with natural gas projects, we are taking steady steps towards gasifying the Egyptian domestic market. we expanded our household natural gas connection projects across Egypt's governorates to increase household access to reliable, lower cost, environmentally friendly grid-connected natural gas supply. We have connected 12.5 million household units to natural gas grids during the past 40 years, of which 50% were connected during the past 7 years. Our aim is to expand the natural gas network to reach 17 million households during the coming 3 years. Additionally, our domestic activity of using compressed natural gas in vehicles has expanded. We have converted a total number of 370,000 vehicles, of which 165,000 were converted to CNG during the past 7 years, with a plan to convert more than 400 vehicles within the coming 3 years. Ladies and gentlemen, in another aspect of the industry, we have been very determined to improve our refining industry and infrastructure. For that, we have started implementing an integrated plan to upgrade the efficiency of our refining industry across the country and to improve the quality of product to cope with the increase and the continuous change in local consumption patterns and to the international standards and specification of OEMs. We have inaugurated 3 major refinery projects with investments of $5 billion. And today we have 6 ongoing refining projects with total investments of $7 billion. We have also been very keen on supporting the petrochemical industry and making it more resilient to challenges, and we are always working on increasing the added value of petrochemicals products, production projects. In the past 7 years, we have executed 40 petroleum product storage and terminals facilities with investments of $15 billion, with a plan to achieve self-sufficiency of refined petroleum products by the year 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, in line with the Egyptian Economic Reform Program, the Egyptian government, in collaboration with the Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, have implemented an energy subsidy reform program in order to ensure a more sustainable approach for fuel pricing. In addition to addressing the chronic challenges of the energy subsidies borne by the government, such as this disproportionate benefit of rich households and the absence of motive for energy efficiency. I'm pleased to say that through the implementation of this reform program, the subsidies are now specifically directed to vulnerable groups and increased programs for targeted social protection measures, social safety nets were implemented. Additionally, the prices of liquid petroleum products are now subject to quarterly review through the automatic fuel indexation system. This reform has evidently lightened the heavy fiscal burden on the government's annual budget. Accordingly, the government was more capable to increase its expenditure on public services for Egyptian citizens, including health and public transport services. As we all know, that for the past 2 years, the oil and gas sector industry has been facing major challenges posed by the pandemic. And I have to say that we were fortunately able to overcome the pandemic's repercussions because of the sector's resilient reforms and the milestones achieved through the past years. And not only have we been able to withstand those consequences, but we have surpassed our own expectations with new success stories, and just to name a few. After several years of deficiency in the petroleum trade balance, we achieved a huge surplus even with the pandemic situation, reaching a record of 400% increase in a full fiscal year 2021, compared with the previous year before the repercussions of the pandemic. Secondly, we've signed and ratified 19 new exploration concession agreements during the period from January to October 2020, attracted new major IOCs to work the Egyptian upstream domain, as mentioned before, launched the Egypt Upstream Gateway last February, in addition to launching the first digital bid round offering 24 blocks, and reached the highest production rate in Egypt's history in the year 2019-2020 at 1.9 million barrels of oil equivalent per day. We achieved unprecedented records of foreign and national investment in oil and gas sector that reached cumulatively $74 billion over the past 7 years. All these achievements across 7 years, the strategic location of Egypt in the middle of the world, and the important role of the Suez Canal in the region have qualified Egypt to become a regional energy hub. Ladies and gentlemen, today, as we speak about global energy challenges and governmental efforts towards achieving energy security and financial sustainability, please allow me to share with you a major achievement that is redefining how energy is looked at in the Eastern Mediterranean region. In 2018, Egypt took the initiative to establish a regional gas forum to work as a platform for a structured policy dialogue between the region's gas stakeholders. The objective is to develop a sustainable regional gas market that best serves the whole region while mindful of the members' right over their natural gas resource and their independence to utilize their own resources for the welfare of their people. In a significant record time of 12 months, the founding members of what is today the Eastern Mediterranean Gas Forum initialed the forum's statute to establish the East Mediterranean Gas Forum as an international intergovernmental organization. Members now include Cyprus, Egypt, France, Greece, Israel, Italy, Jordan, and Palestine, in addition to the US, the EU, and the World Bank being observers. With its headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, I'm honored to say that the EMGF is in full operation since March 2021. Constructive collaboration among countries, it has proven to be a role model for constructive collaboration among countries and nations, even with the toughest of challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, as my speech comes to an end, I honestly cannot overlook the meaningful video that was played at the start of today's event. This video made me really proud of what we have achieved in the past 4 years of hosting Egypt Petroleum Show. In its 5th edition anniversary, Egypt continues to establish itself as the region's leading oil and gas exhibition and conference, where business opportunities is discussed, explored, and conducted, and oil and gas professionals networking to share industry knowledge and expertise. That success was not a coincidence. It is a reflection of the steady steps the Egyptian oil and gas sector has taken and achievements that have been made in the last 7 years. For this, I would like to seize the opportunity to thank everyone behind all these accomplishments, our business partners, or may I call them our success partners, and our Egyptian oil and gas sector's human capital and colleagues, who are surely one of the reasons behind this success. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank everyone for their presence today. It's my pleasure to be amongst you. I wish you all the best, and I hope everyone keeps safe. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for this very comprehensive message and keynote. Actually, I had lots of questions. You answered most of them that was sent to us, but I've got several ones that I would like to add to the discussions here. Like you spoke about the Eastern Mediterranean Gas Forum, and it grabbed the global attention, not only for its establishment in a very short period of time, less than 1 year, but also for its significant activities and the meaningful cooperation between all the member countries. If you can tell us a little bit more about the forum's present activities and the future plans.
Thank you, Maurice. Actually, when we talk about the EMGF, really, the idea is to, when we started the initiative like 2 years ago, or actually in October 2018, the idea is to really encourage the East Mediterranean countries to collaborate. And the collaboration is needed really, and as we know historically and everywhere, where normally you would see energy and the wealth of oil and gas could be somehow a source of dispute. Therefore, we wanted to take this initiative and to confirm the idea of having collaboration among the East Mediterranean countries instead of having a competition. So we would encourage them to collaborate. Not only that, but I would say to complement each other. So among the countries there, we have producing countries, we have consuming countries, we have transit countries. So I don't think that each country on its own could benefit and could get the best out of its resource alone. So the best thing was to create a platform where and the foundation where the countries would complement and integrate their resource together. Then when you have interests, so people would enjoy this together, and you would see more collaboration and peace would dominate there. So we are, and the theme for EMGF is to redefine and promoting energy for peace. So therefore, we didn't take much, and because we were very sincere in what we were presenting. So this initiative was very successful and got the endorsement and the buy-in from the founding countries. And after that, and while we were creating the organization, we had seen the interest of different countries. Among those definitely was the United States of America, and we were also supported by the World Bank and the EU as well. Not only that, but we had also requests for other countries to join, as we've mentioned before. And this, if it proves something, it proves that we are doing the good thing, and there is a real belief from the participating countries and the observers even that this is the future of an organization that would really add value to the region and to the people and to the economy there. Therefore, we are welcoming, and we are still welcoming new members, definitely. And what we have done later on, it is not just a ministerial forum, but we have created several arms to this forum, what we call the GIAC, and this is the gas industry arm, where is it combines different companies in the region. So there we can give the time and the platform for private sector to participate and to develop opportunities for business activities and interaction. And this is how we can use the umbrella of the EMGF for that. So we have under this Gas Advisory Committee, three subcommittees: a technical committee, regulatory, and economic. And they are working separately in order to present their work plans and roadmaps to the ministerial level. And then, as we say, this important project that they have developed, we can tell you that lately we have endorsed the plans given to the ministerial meeting last July, where we are now sponsoring important two projects. One of them is the decarbonization of the East Mediterranean region, and the sponsoring the use of the LNG as fuel for the vessels in the Mediterranean. So these are some of the important initiatives and activities going there, among definitely several very obvious projects that we are undergoing currently in collaboration among the regional countries, which is the connectivity for gas between Egypt, Israel, Jordan, and Egypt, Jordan. And this is all up and running, and we have gas flowing from Israel to Egypt, and from Israel to Jordan, and from Egypt to Jordan. So there are a lot of other opportunities under study currently: Cyprus, Egypt, Israel, Egypt, another pathways, and a lot of other important activities that we are undergoing currently that would create a lot of opportunities, not only for the region, but also for Europe, being a reliable source of natural gas through LNG so far to Europe. That would help Europe also to diversify and to add to their source. Thank you, Maurice.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for this comprehensive answer. And and the theme of collaboration and the narrative of collaboration is I would say is a signature for what we've been seeing, and that's moving forward a great thing to see. So we go back to the Egypt's to next February. The Egypt Petroleum Show will be celebrating the 5th anniversary edition, and the global industry will gather once again in Cairo. And as the chairman of the executive committee, can you tell us a little bit more about what visitors would expect and what you personally are most looking forward for?
Well, when we started back this important petroleum show and exhibition in 2017 actually, the idea was to have, I would say, a window for us to expose and to showcase the success stories and the future plans of our sector. And therefore, we have engaged with this professional, important agency, whereby we've made this success event as an event that is put for every professional on its annual agenda and calendar. So this important event has now been recognized globally, and we are also, let me say, lucky to have His Excellency the President, President Sisi, taking this important event under his patronage, where himself he comes to inaugurate and to be present in the opening of this important event. Having said that, we always attract, and we've been always able to welcome global CEOs and as well important energy ministers from all over the world. Year after year, we have been able to increase the number of pavilions, the country pavilions, and now we have reached a number of 12 countries, in addition definitely to more and more exhibition space there. And the number that we're talking about is like 26,000 attendees. And I think that this has been increasing year after year, and we will expect, and this is, in my opinion, a conservative number, but once everybody is confirmed that and reassured that this pandemic is behind us, the number will increase, and these are in the conservative side. Meanwhile, we are planning to have more than 1,900 delegates and 260 speakers. The important events that we have dedicated different strategic conference that will feature what our priorities will be. So when we talk about several specific sessions that we are going to carry on there, we talk about oil and gas industry professionals. We are talking about finance and investment summit. We talk about women in energy. We have also an annual youth engagement program. So these are very important sessions that we undertake. Importantly, also this year, we are going to have a new zone, which is the hydrogen and the CNG zone. And so we are also in Egypt currently developing the hydrogen strategy. And therefore, we wanted to reflect this into the conference this year. And we have dedicated also an exhibition zone for hydrogen and compressed natural gas as well. So I'm dead sure that as we evolve with the good experience of running this show, and this year will be the 5th edition, I think that confidently we gain more ground on success, and more attendees and participants and exhibitors, and a lot of business opportunities will be offered there in this show. So I look forward to welcoming everybody into our important milestone, which is the annual Egypt Petroleum show.
Thank you very much. That's a great event, and we'll all see you there, inshallah, on February, and be joining that. I know you're have another meeting in 4 minutes, so I would like to thank you again, and I would say that most of the questions and discussions you have covered, I really appreciate your time and your insights during your keynote speech, and also answering the questions there. And I'll pass it to Aida.
Thank you, Maurice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you. And we will see you all in Egypt's 2022, inshallah. And again, a last and very important thank you to our signature sponsors that allow for us to bring you these sorts of topics. Your Excellency, Minister, I know, I think you work 24 hours from what I remember. And I really appreciate all that you do. And I commend you for all that you do for the region. So looking forward to seeing you. Have a great evening. And thank you all to the participants that took the time to join us today.
Thank you, Aida, and thank you all for your time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Looking forward to see you in person soon. Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. Very good. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.